Oh. Well, the president and presumptive GOP nominee are hot on the campaign trail this week in the days and weeks ahead of the conventions. This morning, political blogger Luke Vargas joins us with a look at what's ahead. It's been an interesting few days, Luke, and for folks who don't know, you spent a lot of time on the campaign trail following these candidates now for how many years now? At least a year and a half.
Right, since I was in high school for the last election, and this time since about this time last year up in New Hampshire. And
we've talked to you many times. First of all, let's talk about Paul Ryan, the vice presidential running mate, and to Mitt Romney. Is he a good choice?
It's an interesting question. I think for so long we've watched Mitt Romney's strategy. It's been basically to try to peel away the public's allegiance to the president. And that was the first half of the strategy. A lot of us, especially the pundits here in Washington, thought that the second part of that strategy would come with the vice presidential selection, that you'd pick someone who represents the hand extended to all those disaffected potential or last time Obama supporters. And I'm not really sure if Ryan is that guy. He may be more divisive than a guy who is going to bring in independents or people who are undecided.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about Biden for a minute and his controversial comment, back in chains. Will that hurt Obama? Or is it just something he can smooth over easily? And we've also heard that perhaps President Obama might choose another running mate. What do you think?
I think it's way too late at this point for Obama to ever reconsider changing his vice presidential nominee. I don't think it's ever crossed his mind. But it's an interesting question whether or not some of Biden's sort of off-the-cuff remarks are hurting the president potentially. You look at a guy like Paul Ryan, who was chosen because whenever criticism is directed at him, he's very good at remaining calm, listening to the question put to him, and then defending himself very articulately. Biden, on the other hand, he's not even fielding criticism. He's in a crowd full of supporters, and he says things which potentially sort of stir up the waters. So a whole different type of animal.
Do you think we'll see him not put out in public as much for the next few weeks? Kind of like, why don't you sit down?
Pardon me, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, but if you could repeat that.
I was asking, do you think that we'll see Biden taking a back seat again and not being put out in public as much in the next few weeks?
We'll see. I think the people at the Obama campaign in Chicago have a very close eye on the polls, and I think they're seeing a point at this time where it's totally politically advantageous for them to keep Biden out there on the trail, saying things as he sees them. But there may be a time when they look at sort of the way where the polls are trending, and they say it's not advantageous for us to have Biden out there as much as he is.
All right, real quickly, Medicare as an election topic, political upsides, or is it toxic?
I mean, there's no precedent, there's no framework, especially in this era of 140 character tweets and 30-second advertisements for an issue that's as complicated as Medicare to be used in a presidential election. So it's risky. I think one of the things we're going to remains to be seen is how young people react to this. There's a pollster named John Zogby here in D.C. who's looking at this group called Sengas, that stands for College Educated Not Going Anywhere. It's sort of this 20 to 30 group of voters. He's saying, and I think which is a very interesting point, that potentially these young people, if they are pitched it the right way from the Romney campaign, they might say, if I can finally get out of this rut I'm in and find a way to get a job in this difficult climate, that maybe I don't want to be paying the same sort of percentage of my paycheck and have my society spending so much money on entitlement programs, especially in an age where, for young people like me, we might need to be means testing Social Security and other programs.
You just want a job.
It's a very difficult strategy.
Folks just want a job. All right, Luke, thank you so much. We're going to check in from the Republican convention in Tampa Bay, and we'll see you then. Luke, you have a super day. Let's check in with Ed Eccles now. He says rain's on the way.